everyone, and welcome once again to Starting 11, the soccer recap show we have here on Let's Get Ready Network. I'm Adelia, this is my buddy Snark, and we're here to talk about match weeks 5 and 6 in the English Premier League, as well as some news that happened today. We'll save that for later, though. Snark,
Mm.
how you doing?
Oh, I'm just fine and terrific. Things are going great. You know what? Things are going just fine here in good old Chelsea land, and there's no problems. Everything's working out just fine, just the way we scripted it, guys. This is the way success happens with a poor run of form, and well, we'll get into it in a minute. How are you, Adelia? Lots of soccer to watch over the last week.
There's been a
Uh,
lot, yeah.
yeah, between having to fit in a couple of weeks worth of fixtures with the World Cup coming up. It's going to happen a few times, and then stuffing Champions League action in there as well. I'm not sure if they have the Europa League going this week. Adelia,
They
do
do.
they have a
It's
Europa? Oh,
tomorrow.
they do.
They do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
They do. They have to play it on Thursdays. I can't remember.
they do.
Uh, yes. Some interesting results from English clubs in Champions League. Maybe we'll talk about that real quick near the end of the show. But first, let's go all the way back, guys. Come with me, if you will, to a simpler time. Week 5 or fixture week 5 of the English Premier League. Won't go into it too much because a lot has happened in the 8 days since the 9 days, I suppose now or so since that week came. I want to talk about one thing, a few things. First off, Fulham Football Club. What the hell is happening with these guys? A great run of form. Mitrovic. Who is this guy? Where is this guy coming
He's
from?
so good.
He just and it seems like he scores a different way every time he's on the pitch. Blistering shots from outside the box, so accurate. He's such a fun player to watch. It just drives me nuts that he's wearing that smear of a logo on his shirt. Disgusting. Uh, let's talk about your team. Let's talk about Arsenal and Villa. Uh, Gabby Jesus scores again.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Now, this is something that Arsenal is good for. They give up a goal. Oh, by the way, the goal that beats uh, uh, that Luis scores from the corner to tie the game. Holy Hannah, what a
That was
strike!
that was that made me mad, but it was also a very good goal. It was an
That was an
incredible
incredible
goal.
goal, and you guys, to your credit, paid uh, no mind to it and ran right back down and scores Martinelli.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, you guys didn't ever look like you were in trouble, but it was a little concerning that you guys didn't put up more. Maybe against Villa, I think they actually played well. There's a thing after watching them, they haven't produced the points. Obviously, Villa is just isn't there, but they haven't looked awful. Are you seeing the same Villa squad I'm seeing? It's just they're getting some bad breaks and then bad defensive breakdowns, obviously. But I think they keep it pretty close for the most part. But they just get succumb to mistakes.
Yeah, I thought Villa were decent in the game against us. I wasn't anticipating them tying the game. I thought we had it pretty under control, but it's Arsenal, so of course we didn't. And they tied it, but I was really impressed with the way that we just sort of rebounded really quick and came back and got Martinelli's goal. Um, I think that I think that the Villa has had some tough breaks so far this year.
Yeah, it's a
Um,
shame.
I know it's terrible, but I think they've been playing decently. Like I don't think the way they've been playing has necessarily been the problem. They haven't looked absolutely atrocious, but they just haven't gotten the results that maybe their play. I wouldn't say deserved, but it was a
Oh,
little
I
harsh,
would not.
maybe.
Yeah, I maybe. I wouldn't say deserved. I think they've been unlucky.
Yeah.
I think that's a good way of putting it. I think they've been, unlucky. But
Yes, it seems a little harsh sometimes, some of the results, but
yeah, Martinez, not a terrific goalkeeper, and just defensively, kind of soft. They get soft, but they seem over the last couple of weeks, this week, which we'll talk about later, and this past and week 5. Uh, yeah, I thought that, like, especially I thought they pressed the attack. I thought they seemed to move the ball okay when they could get it. It's hard to take the ball away from Arsenal. Um, but I thought they pressed them really well. I thought their midfielders and their forwards were on their markings or whatever real fast. It was just a matter of defensively. And to be fair, you're talking about some of the best strikers in the world right now, and Martinelli in the form he's on, and Gabby Jesus, and it's a murderer's row up there for sure. But it's 3 points that Arsenal would need, considering going into their next matchup. One quick other thing about week 5, guys, and god damn, is Holland in a goddamn run. Another three goals for Holland, and Man City has zero problems with Forest. God bless them. And I have a bit of a soft spot for Nottingham Forest, especially coming off they played a real good match the week before and get friggin' slaughtered 6-0
yeah.
at the Etihad. A delight for their fans. Their fans were cold and heartless monsters who I do not appreciate one single bit. But yeah, what are you gonna do with Holland? He's a monster. He's like a Frankenstein monster, built to score goals, and terrifies me. How many goals? Like, people are saying, like, oh, he's a lock to get 30 goals. It's like, yeah, I think he's a lock to get 40. He might get 40 goals this year. It's unbelievable the run of play he's on. Incredible. I'm going to talk about a certain team from West London and this week's matchup, week 5, a little later in the program, because it's been 10 days and I'm still digesting it. Okay, nope. God damn it. Okay, I'm going to talk about it right now. For fuck's sakes.
You can do it, Snark.
Southampton.
I know.
Southampton. We're going to talk about what happened today, the Wednesday, what is it, the September the 7th? Yeah. Chelsea versus Southampton in Southampton. Now, Chelsea's lost to bad teams. Chelsea has this knack of giving up goals to bad teams. Chelsea had never looked the way they did against Southampton. They looked absolutely fucking lost. At one point, their attack was an oval where everybody kind of surrounded it like ring around the goddamn rosy. Nobody in the middle. There was no one. They were trying, and they were crossing the ball back and forth. They had 75% of the ball, and I think they had less shots than Southampton. And they just kept going back and forth, and there was no drive. There was nothing. If that wasn't a huge telltale sign for what would happen today, I don't know what was. Supposedly, there's a bunch of. We'll talk about the behind the scenes shit in a minute. But they look terrible. They look lost. The midfield looks like shit. There's nothing. There's nothing there. And he's putting players out of position. And, oh, my God. If anybody's going to cry for Thomas fucking Tuchel, come on. What were you watching? It's like, I love the Champions League too. I love winning stuff. I love we're considered world champs. And a lot of it's thanks to him. And a lot of it has to do with the players. But the players he has now, he just doesn't know what to do with them. and he isn't doing anything with him, and he's throwing in the wrong. How do you? Okay, we'll get to the Champions League stuff in a bit.
Okay.
Okay. Well, one thing we should talk about though is who won what? Who won what for week 5? The answer,
Yes.
may shock you. I won it, but 7-6.
I did better. I did better.
Well, just hold your horses for a minute, Adelia. So week 6. Let's talk about Liverpool. Unremarkable Liverpool. Getting only a draw in the Merseyside derby. Frank Lampard still has a job.
Yeah, he
unlike,
still has a job.
unlike some people, he's scratching and clawing. He's getting points. He's getting goals, and they're not letting up much. Maybe there's something to Everton. I still don't see it. I have no idea how he's doing it.
Yeah.
But they're hanging in there. Tuchel's last game at home. Ben Chilwell has to save us from the fire. We're losing going into the 80th minute, I want to say. I can't remember, but it was going late. Oh, sorry, we tied it up in I think like the 65th minute, and Chilwell scores. And look what happens when Ben Chilwell is on the pitch playing his preferred position. He pushes the fucking play and gets deep, and goaltender makes a weird decision to open up his legs as far as he possibly can, deflect it in. And then in the 88th minute, I believe it is, a hell of a pass by Chile onto the boot of all people, Kai Havertz, who even he cannot miss. And Chelsea wins Thomas Tuchel's last game at the goddamn bridge. Unremarkable hour worth of play by Chelsea. And just were able to scratch and claw just from pure talent. But there was no form. There was zero form in anything they did, and it drove me fucking crazy again. And it got to a point where you couldn't even celebrate a win. You could not celebrate a win. Drive me nuts. Okay, and we'll talk about this. We'll talk about this a little bit with you too. Chelsea gets saved here. A VAR call in the 90th plus one or so. I have no idea how they thought that that Mendy got fouled. The ball was already gone.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah, he was pushed up in the play and rolling. I don't know. The guy looked like he's trying to get out of the way.
It looked like he jumped over him.
Yeah, well, he did catch him.
Yeah.
You did see his foot catch him.
But the ball's gone by that point. It's not.
It should not have. Yeah, it's a play that shouldn't have resulted in any kind of it didn't change. There's no way Mendy was getting to the ball. There's none. He was down. He was out. He on his own. He didn't. He's the reason for he's the one who created. Almost looked like he created the contact with that weird push, which is what he's been doing lately. And I don't know if it's something that he's being coached to do. His entire form is gone. They had to play Kappa yesterday, who looked okay. But yeah, that was one where I was like, eesh. Now VAR fucked us this year against Tottenham. So it's like we gave it back. Well, let's talk about Arsenal. Now, for the run of play, I think a little unlucky. Man United played well. That opening goal being taken away. I wanted your thoughts on the VAR call against Odegaard.
I hate it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a soft foul at best. I think you can see that the referee on the pitch, Paul Tierney, I think is who it was, is looking straight at that when it happens, decides it's not a foul. Play goes on, we go down, Gabby scores the goal, and then VAR calls it back. I don't think that's egregious enough to be considered a clear and obvious error, which is what VAR is supposed to step in on.
Refs are supposed to have, a little leeway here. And
a little discretion on what is a foul and what isn't.
They're the ones who follow the run of play. And except for Anthony Taylor, most do a good job. Not Anthony Taylor. He does not.
There's several that don't do a good job.
Yeah. I was just picking out Anthony Taylor.
I wonder why.
One of the worst officials in all of sports history.
I have so many issues with this whole VAR situation. I don't know if this is true, but people on Twitter were talking about how both the referee and the assistant referee are from the greater Manchester area. I don't think they should be allowed to be reffing Manchester United games. That's the case.
Different officials are there. Come on, guys.
I know.
It isn't difficult.
I know, but it's just ridiculous to me that this entire scenario exists where the referee basically gets called over. And we did have a situation, the first time I think I have ever seen this since VAR was introduced, where we had the VAR call down, I think it was in the Forest Bournemouth game, I think, where the Michael Oliver was the referee, called a penalty for a handball.
Yeah.
But it was a shot from very close range, and the VAR felt like, well, no, it was too close to call the penalty, had him go over and look at it, and he said, no, I'm sticking with my decision, and kept the penalty. That's the first time I can remember seeing a referee get called over to look at it and then not change the decision to whatever VAR wanted.
Extremely rare.
Yeah.
And I think what they're even were looking at with that call is that it may have gone off another part of his body first or whatever, and then onto his hand.
Yeah.
That's another game. It's like, oh my God, you can't park the bus if you're Forest. For God's sakes, even if it is Bournemouth. Holy shit, they look like garbage that second half. Oh my God. Let's go back. Yeah, let's go back to Arsenal. Man U. I really thought Arsenal played well. I thought we
did too.
I thought they were unlucky with some chances. But this is something that we go back earlier, I think maybe the first week of the show, maybe the second week. It looks like of course, Arsenal offense, but that back line has to shore up because there were some easy through balls, like 3 through balls that kills you guys. Maybe not the first one. I think the first one was nice on the run of play. It was a nice passing play. There's not much you could do when you were stuck out. It was 3-2. But you guys were getting beat 3-1.
I think that might have been slightly different if Thomas Partey was playing.
Yeah.
He's injured at the moment. We had Mohamed El-Neni is injured at the moment. Sambi Lakanga was the one that was in midfield, and he's still a very young player, and he's definitely not at the level that El-Neni or Partey are.
Right.
So I think that was part of that, but yeah, I was actually pretty happy with the way we played. We didn't just, go there and capitulate. We made a game out of it and played decently, and we weren't atrocious like we generally are when we play at Old Trafford. And it sucks that we lost, but we're going to lose games. I never have been one of these people that seemed to think we were going to be the Invincibles because we won our first 5 games. That was never going to happen.
2014 can pop the champagne yet again.
Yeah, it was never going to happen this year, and I'm glad that nonsense is over with, and we can move on. Yes, Manchester United is a better team than the teams we've played previous to this, but you can only play the teams that are in front of you, so I'm sick of people saying we don't deserve to be top of the league because we lost to Man United. We've had better results than Man City. We deserve to be top of the league. Mm-hmm. Will that change? Probably. I don't anticipate us winning the title this year. I'll be happy if we finish 4th. Just somewhere in for the top 4. That's all I want.
I think you guys will do better than that. And what about the job that Ten Hag's doing? He finally gets it. And I think the board is finally off his back. It's like, guys, I'm not playing your money guys. I'm playing the kids that can listen to me and have speed. this team is fast, and they can fucking put the ball in spaces, and
Yeah.
they can run to it. And that's what it was just counterattack. It was weird. It was fucking weird seeing a Red Devils team that's all about fucking sitting back and waiting for a counterattack of all things instead of just pressing.
Yeah, that was strange.
Mothering with the offense. But yeah, I thought I was really impressed with the way they played, but I was not unimpressed by Arsenal. I think is the word for the day. I wasn't unimpressed. I thought they played well. It's just some bad breaks and a couple of breakdowns, and that's soccer. It'll just turn on you. Speaking of bad breaks, let's talk about real quick Villa, Manchester City. City, of course, coming in the cock of the walk, Man City.
Of course.
Gets their 1-0 lead. Only to concede a goal, and all of a sudden, where's Man City? As soon as someone punched them back, they were like, "What?" And it looks like they really fell apart. They still had great chances and stuff like that. I thought that the Villa goalkeeper was outstanding. They really didn't come too close to goal. But Villa, if it wasn't for, I don't know what the assistant referee was thinking and putting his offside flag.
That was a terrible call.
It was awful. Now, maybe they stopped walking around, or they stopped playing as hard or whatever. Maybe somebody saw the flag, but that's not what it looked like to me. It looks like they were still chasing and stuff like that, and their keeper sure made an attempt at saving that thing, but that was a hell of a strike. And I think Villa is very unlucky not to get a pretty famous win over City.
They were definitely unlucky. That was a terrible call. Coutinho was not offside, and that was a great strike from him that unfortunately came after the whistle. So since it came after the whistle, there's no way to VAR check anything. And
what happened? What happened to if it's close, keep it down. If it's close, keep it down.
Yeah.
Let the run of play go. This is what this piece of shit VAR is for. Is to say it's just to save your neck. It's let the run of play happen. It was awful. It was an awful call, and they're going to start looking at VAR again. I don't think it should be taken away. I just think you need to get your assistant referee smarter. It just needs to get coached better. It's like you don't have to, no one's there to see this guy.
Yeah.
No one's paid to see the assistant referee say, because he's out of position. It's like, this should be it. It's like, God damn it. No, you fucking asshole. You ruined something that could have been pretty special. And I'll always get upset, even if it's Villa, when City doesn't get points dropped. So, goddamn. Well, it was interesting. It's interesting to see City drop another couple points. So it's gonna. And you know what? For all the bitching I'm doing about Chelsea and how they played, they're only 5 points back out of 6 weeks now. So who knows what could happen? But we'll talk. Okay, we're going to talk about it in a minute. Let's go to how we did this week, week 6. Adelia, you got 7 points.
That's very good for me. Yeah. It's the best I think I've done.
I got 3.
Oh, wow.
3 points. Adelia with the big
I finally won a match week.
Wins in week 6, a famous victory. Adelia wins.
Finally.
Cry myself to sleep about it. Goddamn. Oh, one other bit of news. This is something I wrote down real quick in the margin because I was just watching some Premiership news on YouTube. And it looks like one of my all-time favorite players is getting a tryout with Wolverhampton. Diego Costa, at the age of, what is he now, 39, 40 years old? Getting
can't possibly be that old.
Oh, he's old. He's been around for a long time. He was old. He was 32. Is that 2015? 33, 2015?
He's 33.
Holy shit, that's it?
Yes.
Has he always just looked like an old man? I thought he was 30.
I guess.
I
He
saw.
was born October 7th, 1988, so he's about to be 34.
Oh my God. Ooh,
Yeah.
He's.
I was like, there is no way he's almost
I
40.
thought for sure, like, why did they get rid of this guy? Oh my God, he's been gone for 4 years. We got rid of him before he was 30. That doesn't make a lick of sense. Anyways, Diego Costa coming back to Wolves, possibly. And I would be jumping up and down ecstatic for him because I love seeing him. It sucked when he went back over to Spain. Couldn't see him. Goes to Italy. And then just keeps dropping down leagues. It's not worthy of his standing. It's one of the best strikers in Chelsea history. And just physical force. Like, this guy took no goddamn shit. And something I love to see. Anyway, Diego Costa, the chance to come back. Let's run through our predictions for week 7. Then I can talk about Thomas Tuchel for a minute, and then we can get the hell out of here.
Okay.
Like I said, the Fulham-Chelsea match starts today. Who knows who's going to be stewarding? I don't know if they're going to name a manager, although I'll talk about who they're projecting it's going to be. It's at the Cottage, at Craven's Cottage. I am going to take Fulham to win. Just on their run of play and our lack of it. And there's no way you can get these guys together in 3 days. It's much talent as they have for them to come together with a win. What do you think?
I mean, like, I can't disagree with you on the fact that Fulham has been playing better than Chelsea. I could see Chelsea putting in a bit of a performance, though, with the managerial change. So I'm going to say draw.
Okay, I'll freaking take a point at the Cottage right now. God, that almost makes me sick to my stomach just to say I'll take a point at the Cottage. Come on. How dare you, these guys. Bournemouth, after their miraculous win, taking on Brighton, who, as Coinkydink may have it, may also have a steward for the rest of their for a little while. Bournemouth, Brighton. I don't think it doesn't matter with who. They could have nobody on the bench for Brighton. I think they'd have no problem beating AFC Bournemouth as long as they don't park the bus in the second half. What do you think?
I agree. Brighton. Even if Graham Potter is no longer there, I still think Brighton has enough to beat Bournemouth.
Right. Leicester and Villa, which could be an interesting match. Leicester, if they don't win, I think they're sunk. Villa, again, robbed by Man City. Robbed by the officials and Man City. I don't think there's any question that Villa should beat Leicester, but you know what? Is this the time Leicester starts pulling around? I think this is a good match to pick a draw. What are you?
I'm going to go with a Villa victory. I just have absolutely no faith whatsoever in Leicester accomplishing anything. They have 1 point from 6 games. Villa.
And they barely deserve that. Although they held us pretty well. But of course they had one extra guy for an hour of that. Liverpool and the aforementioned Wolverhampton Wanderers. Liverpool has looked terrible, and today dropped 4-1 against the Italian side. They have no form as well. It looks like they have no ambition. I'm still going to pick them to win. It is at Anfield.
The fact that it's at Anfield and the fact that the crowd there will be furious after them losing 4-1 to Napoli today, I'll pick Liverpool, but I could see that one going with a different result.
What is happening? Topsy frigging turvy. This is bananas. It's bananas. It's like the 2015-16 season all over again, and it's grossing me out because Chelsea was fucking terrible that year. Southampton, Brentford, the Bees. It's hard to pick a Bees squad that you can rely on. I think some minutes they look very good, and some minutes they look like shit. But I would say this: if Southampton played any other team that day that they beat Chelsea, they would have lost. Chelsea was just that bad. I have no faith in Southampton over Brentford. You have any more faith in me?
No, I'm gonna go with Brentford.
Yeah, fuck those guys, assholes. Man City Tottenham, the matchup of the week. Man City Tottenham, a couple of powerhouses. Hopefully they kick each other's teeth in for 90 minutes, and there's lots of injuries and maybe some severe burns. Maybe something collapses onto players. I think that would be fun. Like that there's a big sinkhole and something like that and just collapses in on them. And, the last thing you hear before they cut the television is just the blood-curdling screams. I would love it. I think that would be a very nice match to watch.
I think that would be horrifying.
Okay. What do you think?
I'll take City. I can never. I can't pick Spurs, and I just City's with the way that Holland's playing right now. I know they got the draw against Villa, but I'll take City.
Yeah, I'm gonna take them and their run of play, and if they win, I just hope the game is like 14-11 or something like that. Like, I hope they're all embarrassed by this. Speaking of embarrassing, the next match we're going to predict Arsenal and poor old Everton.
Oh, I'll take my boys. I have no faith in Everton either.
No, nobody should. That's ridiculous. The Hammers against the Magpies. This is,
I'm gonna go Newcastle, even though this I believe is at West Ham. West Ham has not been good at all so far this year. Newcastle's been better than them, so I'll take Newcastle.
They've even lost to Chelsea, but do I have much faith in Newcastle? I'm going to pick a draw here too. I'm going to pick a draw. Let's see what happens. Now, Crystal Palace and Manchester United.
I think that I'm going to go for Man United on this one. They seem to be on a bit of a roll at the moment. Mm-hmm. Crystal Palace, I think, has been decent so far this year, but I just don't see them slowing that down too much.
I like thinking of trying to find an upset, but I don't know if this is one that I can rely on. Palace over Manchester United. Would it be that much of a victory for them? I'm going to go with Palace. I'm going to go out on a limb and say Man U has a loss of form. Maybe Palace can jump on them here at home. Who fucking knows? Maybe, yeah. I can't remember. I think they play a back four, which may be a little better at controlling some of the runs that Manchester United have. So let's try Palace to win. And Leeds against Forest on Monday. Who the hell knows about this?
I'm gonna go for a draw.
Yeah.
I can't pick either one of these teams, so I'll go for a draw.
I think Leeds has some good strikers, so
they'll be without Jesse Marsh though, because I saw he got red carded on the sideline at weekend.
Oh no, I am 100% he's gonna appeal because he was crying about Tuchel appealing and stuff like that when he got his 2 yellows against Tottenham. So
his I believe was a straight red. So
Yeah, no, I can 100% believe he's going to try to appeal this thing.
Oh, I'm sure he is, but I just don't see him winning that.
It's so interesting watching him manage, like watching his interviews afterwards, because he's so American, and you like just like he looks small in English, but the voice is 100% American. It's like, oh my
He's
god,
very American. Yeah.
that voice does not fit that body. It's like Shawn Michaels in wrestling. Okay, that's it for the week. Week 7 predictions. Now, quickly on Thomas Tuchel. It was a bit of a shock this morning to see that he was canned, just because of how early in the season it is and how much fucking money we just splurged on players he wanted. 260 million pounds worth of players. More than that, like 262 with the bonuses and stuff like that.
You guys spent a ton of money
Well,
to give him like what 2 games after the deadline.
yeah. Well, we'll talk about the run of play here. Thomas Tuchel was in charge of Chelsea Football Club for 100 games even. 100. Let's just talk defensively. And he's supposed to turn this team, Chelsea of all teams, an offensive dynamo team. Let's make it defensive. All right, fine. He took over from Frankie Lampard, and of course, what a great run through the Champions League, playing that 2-5-2-1, and just nobody could solve it and stuff like that. And they would just smother people defensively, and enough players on attack that we win the Champions League. Great, what a fucking day! It was awesome. Those 50 games, Chelsea let in 24 goals. The 50 games since, they let in 28 goals. The 50 games since, 54. They've given up twice as many goals in the last 50 games. They haven't had a clean sheet. The only clean sheet they had all year was against Everton. It's like, whoop-de-doo. You could see this stuff. Like when I went to the match I watched against Copa America, it was, there was nothing penetrating about it. I thought maybe it's their first game, they're jogging around. You could really tell something was wrong when they played Arsenal in Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
4-0 game. It's like, this is not a Chelsea Football Club. What is happening here? And I guess behind the scenes, like he would get quiet and he wouldn't bounce ideas up. And like Tuchel, like the new owner Bowley, wants to be a little more hands-on. He paid more money than any other man has ever paid for a fucking sports team. Let him, if he wants to ask questions, let him. All these people who are close to Roman and stuff like that, he knows they're going to go. He knows he has to be the money man because he doesn't have time, because he had a month. He had a month by the time he got control of the team, and then as the season started open, the windows started to open. So he had today was the 100th day that the owner had it. So it's not like this is a knee-jerk reaction to what happened in fucking Croatia when we lose to a team that in their history has won 5 Champions League games. 5. They win. They get to go to the Champions League because the Croatian Football League fucking sucks. It sucks. They're the only. It's like France. Like there's PSG, and then there's other teams, farming for other fucking clubs. That's it. Nantes, Lille, Nice. They're farm teams. All they do is grow players for the big clubs in England and some in Spain. And then they get PSG only gets the guys on their way down and stuff like that. Get messy. You got Neymar, which is good. That was a good sign. Of course, Mbappe. But there's nobody else in France. Thomas Tuchel took the club as far as he could go, and as far, you could see the frustration in his eyes because he didn't know what to do. He played players out of position. He's asking players. He's fighting with ownership. This should never have come as a surprise that he got sacked. Maybe just when, but listening to people online talking about him and stuff like that, it's like like he's their best friend. It's like, guys, he's a manager. That kind of stuff may work at other clubs. Like if you guys want that stuff at Newcastle, go ahead, have a best friend. Chelsea Football Club is there for championships. We're there to stick. We keep, he bought the thing for $2.3 billion. 1.3 of it was the new trophy case. I'm pretty sure. Just so we can stick more trophies in there. But those trophy cases are going to gather dust with this guy. So we'll see. Graham Potter is one of the names. Paca, who was at Tottenham and PSG. The guys won nothing. So no, I don't see it. Zinedine Zidane is another name. They're talking about real good run of play with Real Madrid. And of course, what a midfielder he was. Maybe not the smartest fucking guy when he was on the pitch, but off the pitch seems to know his shit. 3 straight Champions Leagues, but of course he had prime Ronaldo. So what are you gonna do? Graham Potter, I think, is the darling of the English media right now. Of course, it's not often that an English coach is going to come up and coach one of the big teams. It's be first time I think since Sir Alex. I think Alex Ferguson was a lot, but that really matters. Like Frankie Lampard, it was a legacy hire, and then he was there. So it's interesting. A lot of people were equating this to Roman and stuff like that, and how he's getting rid of him. I think it's almost the exact opposite. I think he's getting rid of him now so that we can have a management set in place for a long, long, long time. And he's a guy that's going to have to be able to work with Bully because he isn't going anywhere, guys. And he's rebuilding Stamford Bridge for it. Like, I don't understand people pushing back. Like, I'm not a huge fan of, these wealthy owners coming in just to do something. Like, and I'm afraid a little bit of Bully trying to be a Jerry Jones. But again, he's been on the job for 100 days. Give him the space to figure out the landscape and get who he needs in there. Anyways, I'm due, of course, what, I wish Thomas Tuchel best luck. He'll end up on a big club. They were looking at him. Manchester United tried to poach him this year. We will see. Interesting days ahead. Of course, the drama surrounding Chelsea Football Club never seems to fucking end. So we'll see what happens on Saturday. Let's hope that the players or whatever want to give them a proper send-off, get a win. God damn it, they're gonna fucking have to do something because they've been fucking terrible, and a lot of it lies on their feet. But I think that's enough for this week before I start going on forever and ever and ever, because I goddamn could, and start hitting myself in the head with a hammer until I fall asleep, and it might be the only way I'm able to do that tonight. Adelia, I know you were probably a little smirk when you saw that Tuchel was sacked.
I was surprised when I saw Tuchel was sacked, to be perfectly honest. I really was. I knew Chelsea was struggling. I knew that the loss to Zagreb was not good, but I didn't think they were going to fire Tuchel.
Yeah.
At least not at this point. So.
Yeah. Still, it wasn't because of this. Supposedly, he was getting fired either way. Like, either way, he was getting fired today.
Wow.
They've just had it with it. So, you have to be able to work with people. I run a business.
I find it very amusing.
If he fucking tries to piss me off all the time, it's like, I don't need this. Like, guy, I don't need this. I can replace you. So, yeah. There you go.
I found it very interesting that they just made such a big deal about getting Aubameyang to work with Tuchel again, the reuniting of the team from Dortmund, and he got one game together?
One broken-faced game. He looked like the Phantom of the Opera out there. He looks go at the ball.
I'm surprised he played with it. I'm really surprised he played.
He shouldn't have played. He was forced out there. Like, this is the kind of stuff that Tuchel is doing. Like, I think they're worried about Conte's health and stuff like that. I didn't think they're worried about them pushing him out there too. It's a mess. It was a mess. They need somebody in there that can figure it out. Someone who can actually, a lot of them were friends with Tuchel, which is fine, but You know, at some point you have to be the boss. You have to be the coach, and you have to say no and do things right and put people in the right positions. And like, come on, like, what the hell? Like, Chilwell fucking sitting on the bench for Cucurella. What? Unfucking believable. Oh my god. All right. Anyways, again, I'm gonna get that hammer. I swear to God, I'm gonna get it. And I'm gonna brain myself into a good night's sleep.
Please don't.
Oh, we'll see. Adelia, anything going on with you, internet wise, or say fantasy football wise?
Yeah, the LGR Fantasy Football League starts up tomorrow night, I guess, because we have the first game of the season in the NFL. My first round matchup is against Justin, so that'll be interesting. We will be having a fantasy football roundup on the channel. We're going to try to get someone from the Fantasy Football League on the show every week with Ferris. I don't know how that's going to go quite yet, but it'll be coming sometime next week, probably. And yeah, you are listening to this on the Let's Get Ready Network audio feed. Some changes are coming to the audio feed soon. More on that later. If you're watching this video, you are a member of our Patreon. Patreon.com/LGR Network is the address if you want to join, so you can watch me and Snark instead of listen to me and Snark.
That's awesome.
And congratulations to Snark being the newest member of the LGR team. Really excited to have you on board.
We're talking salary. I'm starting 6 figures. I just have to see how high they can go. It's all negotiation, guys. That's what it's all about. Let's go. Turn your head and go. My team, it's okay. It's okay. I wasn't too impressed with my team. I was very impressed. For someone who's never done a goddamn fantasy league before, Adelia, I think yours turned out pretty well.
I am pretty happy with my team, considering the fact I have no fucking clue what I'm doing.
I think
we'll see how this season goes.
I think it'd be pretty funny if you kick the shit out of Justin.
I'm gonna laugh if I beat Justin. I really am.
I'm playing the LBHT Columbus crew here.
Oh, all right.
Justin's arch nemesis. If anyone wants.
Yeah, Justin's got arch nemesis all throughout the league.
The heel of the league.
He is. For more on that, you can watch the fantasy football draft. We did that live on the YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/Let's Get Ready Network. We'll take you there. Please subscribe. We're trying to get past that 750 mark. We get so close, and then the algorithm changes, and we lose followers, and we're getting there. We will get there.
Mm-hmm.
You can also follow us on Twitter at Let's Get Ready Net. You can follow me on Twitter at Adelia Chambo. I tweet random shit and don't really do too much on there, but feel free to follow. I'll be back on the channel on Friday doing the Lord of the Rings of Power review, episode 3 with Dagon. And what about you, Snark? Anything you want to plug?
I got plug LGR After Snark weekends, either Saturday or Sunday. I don't really know. It's not like there's much of a form to this thing, and there isn't like much of a cohesiveness to this thing. It's Danny and I can get together and talk shit and have drinks and bring some people along, and it's either gonna happen Saturday, it's gonna happen Sunday, whichever day we can actually do it, and fit the drinks in, because that's the most important part of the entire show.
LGR After Snark is exclusive to Patreon for Let's Get Ready Network. So you want to see Danny and Snark have a whole bunch of fun, and patrons get to come on the show. And I love the show. It's great. That's patreon.com/LGR Network. Anything else?
No, that's it. I am dreading Saturday morning. It's going to be very early start for me, so I can get a bunch of things done at work, where I will be when this game is going on, yelling into a cloth so I don't wake up the people in my hotel, because I can get blood curdling, especially that early in the morning. 6:30.
All right. We will be back next week. Thank you for dealing with technical issues on this episode. You may have noticed, if you're watching the video, Snark's location changed.
That's a green screen.
It's a green screen. And we will be back next week, probably on our regular day of Monday. We had to delay it a little bit this week, but we will talk to you all then.
Ta-ta.